Hello, my friends, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Heather, and today we're learning all about child's pose, also known as Balasana. So for child's pose, I'm going to give a few different variations as well as how you can use props to make it more comfortable, make it more restorative maybe. So let's begin on our hands and knees, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists, and bring both toes to touch, both big toes. Take the knees out wide and slowly begin to shift the hips back towards the heels. Inching both hands forward a little more and then resting the forehead down towards the mat. So this is an extended child's pose. And if you are not able to bring your hips all the way down to your heels, that's totally and perfectly normal. So take a block if you have one or something that's about the same. You can kind of play with this here, so it's going to be different for everyone, but the block has different heights. Just put it in between your feet and you can rest the hips back onto the block. So either turning it lower or higher, and then coming down, or even stacking maybe like your blanket in between, like on top of the block. Or another option here, want to make sure you have all the tools in the shed. So bringing your bolster, if you also have a bolster, you could also use like a firm pillow or even a couch cushion if you have one. If you have a couch cushion, and put it on top of your heels, rest the hips back, and then walk the hands forward. Now see here, I'm probably not going to be able to reach my forehead to the mat at this point. Really depends on your body. If you cannot, you can also take a block, preferably not a cork block, probably a foam block so that it's a little bit more comfortable in your forehead, and you can rest your forehead on the block. So again, using the different heights, probably the lower height's better, and resting here. You can even turn it so you get a little bit more width. Great. So those are some options. From here, you can also, just readjusting, you can also bring your knees in more or out more. So if it feels more comfortable for you to bring your knees in towards the center a little more, that's okay too. This is a great posture for opening the hips though, so I usually like to take them a little bit wider. It's very grounding and it just helps to kind of bring focus inward and really to allow you to rest. This is a great resting posture for during one of your classes. If you just need a break, just take a child's pose. So option to keep the knees together is okay as well. Bringing the hands forward and hand options. So for the arms, you can take them forward or you can take the elbows out wide, pointer finger and thumbs to touch. So just to show you, I'm creating a little diamond with my hands here, and it just really gives me more space in the shoulders. So you want to make sure that wherever you're at, you have space between your shoulders and your ears, that you're not bunching it up towards your ears. And in any of these positions, breathe into the low back as you slowly drop the hips toward your heels. You can also take your hands back, so keeping the knees together, feet together in this position, this little egg. Bring the hands all the way back towards the heels and coming onto the tops of your hands. So palms are facing up towards the ceiling and you can just rest here. And sometimes I even take this as my final resting posture, as my Shavasana. So another option is if you're taking the knees out wide, toes to touch, you can grab your bolster again if you have it. Placing it in front of you, coming forward, taking your arms on either side of the bolster, and then just resting your head on the bolster to one side. But just make sure that when you take this more restorative position that you're switching sides so that your neck feels okay afterwards. Just switch halfway through. Oh, one last thing, one other modification you can do as well, before I forget, is that you can lay a blanket down, fold up a blanket, and you can pad the knees. So when you're starting in this tabletop, pad the knees first, and then take the knees out wide, toes to touch. Sometimes that just feels a little bit more comfortable if you have sensitive knees. So whatever works for you. Every pose is not a one-size-fits-all. It's really great to be able to find out what works the best in your body. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a good one. I'll see you next time, and namaste.